My next guest helps creative business owners use their numbers to see their business objectively and make profitable decisions. Please welcome Megan Dahle. Welcome to the Powerful Female Leaders Podcast. I'm your host, Anna Patricia Bourgeois, certified business coach. I'm here to help you up-level, generate consistent wealth, increase your confidence, attract dream clients, and master your mindset so that you can fully own your power and achieve next-level results in your online business and beyond. Every week, a powerful conversation will take place with amazing guests, or I'll share from my experience to help inspire you to start and scale the business of your dreams while being powerfully you. The time has come to stop playing small, stop hiding, and stop waiting. Now is the perfect time for you to passionately pursue your heart's desire as the powerful leader you were born to be. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Powerful Female Leaders Podcast. I am here today with Megan. Hi, Megan.
Hello.
How are you?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited to dive in. So feel free to share with us who you are, what you do, and what got you into this in the first place.
Sure. So Megan Dahle, I always like to say hello, Dolly. I first actually got into accounting when my mom handed me a book that was called Accounting for Non-Accountants and said, "Hey, you're my bookkeeper now."
Mm.
I'm like, okay. Sure. And I really enjoyed it and kind of built a career from there. And I was working at my last job that I ever had. And I got a call from a friend of mine. And she said, I think
Mm.
our partner is stealing from the business. How do I tell?
Oh,
I'm like, "Oh,
no.
yeah, yeah." I was like, well, let me take a look. Give me some access and let me take a look. And about 8 hours later, I went back to her and I said, yeah, somewhere between $250,000 and $400,000 they've
No
taken out of the
way.
business.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
So that was kind of my little launch into the world of working for myself and able to let go of, working for the man, doing the corporate thing. And I really found a
Mm.
passion for small businesses, like truly small businesses where people have a passion, they have this creativity and they're doing the thing.
Mm.
And the accounting is really kind of letting them down. The bookkeeping is letting them down, not because their bookkeeper's doing a bad job, but just because they
Mm.
can't get the information out of it that's useful.
Mm. Got it. Oh my gosh. So yeah, that story is like, wait, what?
And it happens more often than you'd think. It
Yeah.
really behooves people, especially when they're in partnerships, to know what questions to ask and to know where to look.
Mm.
Many times this even happens with not that CPAs and bookkeepers are pulling one over, but if you don't know what questions to ask and you don't know where to look, you're really kind of
Mm.
setting yourself up for some unpleasant surprises at
Yeah.
times. And even when you are asking questions, if they're not like the right questions, it can be annoying. And so CPAs and bookkeepers kind of give you the little pat on the head and say, don't worry about it. Because they
Mm.
don't want to really explain it, they just want to do their job. They just want their gold star to do their job. Just leave me
Yeah.
in peace to do my work. Trust me.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. So what would those questions look like then?
Well, the first question, to get to the bottom, the first thing that I like to get to with all my clients, the immediate number is like, how
Yeah.
much of this cash is mine? Because your
Mm.
income statement's not going to tell you that. Your balance sheet isn't going to tell you that. They just tell you how much cash is in your possession. It doesn't tell
Mm.
you how much belongs to other people, how much of this can I take as my own profit and my own bonus? How much of this should I save for this next little project that I want to launch? What's coming
Mm.
down the pipe? We really got to dive into the cash situation of your business,
Mm.
put some solid ground underneath you first, and then we
Yeah.
can start building from there.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So thank you for sharing that. That's awesome.
You're welcome.
So I know you say that, you focus on the future, right, of the small businesses and like, will they be okay? Can they grow their staff? So why is it that you have this view and why is it important?
Well, I think the view came from just working for, even before I was out on my own, working for businesses who got themselves into pickles, right? And being
Mm-hmm.
able to, um, I hated working in that type of environment where they were constantly in a pickle. It's like, well, okay, how do we stop being in a pickle all the time? Well, we start looking further down the road and planning for that so that we're not making
Mm,
decisions based on everything historical without being able to see anything coming down the road. Um, it's a very
mm,
stressful situation to be in. And imagine that's
yeah.
like, if that's your business, that's you and maybe just you, or maybe you and some employees, that's what's keeping my clients when they come to me. That's what keeps them up at night is like they don't know what's coming. And so that regardless of how clean your books are, how clean your bookkeeper is keeping them, everything after today
Mm-hmm.
is still a mystery. And so if we can start
Mm,
painting a picture of like, okay, here are some problems that are recurring, here are some problems that we can foresee. Here's like you're going to be okay. That's the answer that people want to get to. How do I get to be okay so I can
mm-hmm.
sleep at night and so that I can have fun in my business again? It's not fun if you're always looking over your shoulder as and waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah, totally. Awesome. So, yeah, so like when you say know your numbers, that's what you're referring to, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I kinda, like, shy away from that phrase of "know your numbers" because that's so
Yeah.
unhelpful. But so many people think that means go
Mm.
back to your balance sheet, go back to your income statement, like, "Oh, okay," but that still just gets me to today, and frankly, you those
Mm.
financial statements weren't built for small businesses. Therefore, when you have departments, when you need to look at the
Mm.
whole value of your business in one place, like, even with huge, massive SEC reportings from big companies, they have these novels, pages after pages
Mm.
to explain what's on those financial statements. And that's just information that small businesses don't have access to. You can't, like, be hiring a CPA to write a SEC report for you every month, every quarter. It's just not feasible. So
Mm.
once we can dig into
Yeah.
what's really meaningful for a small business, what do you need to be able to see in your future? What are the decisions in front of you? What are the recurring problems? And looking at from a
Mm.
future forecast instead of historical, then you can be like, okay, I know for the next 3 months, I am going to be able to pay me and my staff, but I also know that I need to fill up the work for the 3 months coming after that. So you have that
Mm.
breathing room of, we're okay. And I know exactly what to do next.
Yes. Yeah, that's so important to have, I feel like. And yeah, I also feel like numbers can be like intimidating for a lot of small businesses owners. So,
Yeah.
like what do you do to help them get over that?
Visualize it, right? Like there are numbers, like granted, I do use numbers in spreadsheets, but my little magic is making it visual with the colors and the graphs and the things that you can literally see without like
Mm.
okay, I know that says $15,000, but what does that mean for $15,000? Without something to relate it to. Is that good? Is that bad? Is that safe? Is that a warning? What is that? Um, the color red is really helpful
Mhm.
when it's like, "Warning, warning." The color green is really comforting when it's like, "Look at what you have for the next 3, 6 months." Yeah, making it visual,
Mhm.
especially for creative business owners who avoid their numbers like the plague.
Yeah, so let's talk about that mindset a little because I feel like talking about money and numbers and all of this is also a lot of mindset involved. So, what would you say are like the biggest mindset, hurdles that you see your clients go through and how do you help them
Oh,
achieve the goals
yeah. Oh,
that they
boy.
want?
Oh, boy. It seems like we are conditioned to think that math is hard, math is
Mm,
boring, or math is intimidating, and I want to put my people in a position where they're not even feeling like they're doing math. Instead,
mm,
it becomes a game where, um, what's in it for me? Bookkeeping and accounting in its current state is all about compliance. It's for the government. It's for somebody else. It's for my vendors.
mm,
So it's boring and really quite useless for my own strategy. So why would I keep on top of it? And why would I learn this when somebody else can do it for me? But when we're looking at numbers from a future and layering on top of that your goals, I want to pay for my daughter's wedding in 3 years. What do I need to be putting away each month in order to make that happen? How is my business feeding that cash into it and
Mm.
protecting it? That's when it becomes fun. Like, oh, when I look at it this way, that lake house actually, I'm only 6 months away from making that down payment on that lake house that I've always been talking about. So, yeah.
Mm.
So, what I do with my clients is really truly understand what it is they want from their business. What fun do they want to be having in their business? What fun do they want to be having outside of their business? And how do we tie that to the actual strategies that you're working on inside?
I love that. That's incredible. And yeah, I'm curious, like growing up, did you imagine that you'd be doing what you do today?
No, no, no. The things that I wanted to be when I grew up. Okay, so I think at one point I wanted to be a maid for the uber rich so I could be inside their house all the time. I wanted to be a horse trainer, Supreme Court justice, lawyer, a doctor in there somewhere, I'm sure. Mailman.
Mm.
Yeah, lots of things. Never an accountant, though. Never an accountant.
That's crazy. Are you a manifesting generator?
I'm not sure. My friend Amy told me what I was once, and it was either that or just generator. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's in her blood to like a lot of things and be multi-passionate.
Yeah. ADHD. That's what I am.
Yeah.
Severe ADHD.
Oh, I love it. So what brought you to the world of accounting and money and all of that?
Well, truly, like my mom handing me that book. I had my undergraduate in political science theater and a
Yeah.
minor in interior design. And my husband and I went off after he graduated and lived in Nashville for a bit. And we came back home. I'm like, okay, no, for realsies, Megan, what do you want to be when you grow up? And so it was kind of decided for me. She handed me that book, and I just loved the way it was kind of like
Mm,
Marie Kondo for numbers, right? Everything has a home, everything has a spot. And however you maneuver them, you can tell a different story of what you want to see. So I went off and got my
mm,
master's and worked for a couple years in there, and it was still like beating my head against a wall of this. This isn't enough, right? Like what comes after that? It's not
mm,
enough. And so, through working with small clients, where my passion truly lays is with 5 or fewer employees, a single solopreneur. It's so
mm,
rewarding for them to get to the end of one of our projects and be like, "Oh my gosh, this is what I always wanted to know. I just didn't know that this is what I wanted to know." That's what
mm.
keeps me going.
Okay, so I'm definitely curious. Like, I want you to share with us that light bulb moment. Like, what happened in your client's life? Like, let's brag a little.
Okay. Sure, sure. So one of my clients that I'm thinking of, like literally once we sorted through what cash was hers, what goals she had, what was coming, what her backlog looked like, what her business looked
Mm,
like. And she could see it, like I call it an objective view, getting yourself out of
mhm,
it and being able to take out the self-judgment and the all of the ugh
mm,
that comes with it and look at it and go, "Honey, you have an extra $125,000 that you were scared belonged to your vendors, and you're actually doing quite well where this is the pattern of what you've got coming in the next 6 months, and that's your down payment on your lake house." And it was
yeah.
just, like, the look on her face and like, it's one thing to talk about a dream and a goal and to put it on a calendar and do the manifesting and that type of thing. It's one thing
Yeah.
to actually make it a reality of, "Holy cow, I'm there. I'm there."
Mm, yeah. I just got chills. This is so good.
Yeah.
So, what are your dreams? Like, what is your vision coming up in the next few years?
Oh, so I have been working on I'm talking to, like, everybody I can find of, like, "Okay, this is what we went through. This is how I did it. Now I need your feedback. I wanna make sure that I can get this to more people without them working
Mhm.
one-on-one with me because it's so limited, right? I want
Yeah.
everybody to be able to embrace looking forward without the "blech" that comes
Mm.
what their current feeling is towards their books right now. That aha of, "Oh, I can see. Oh, I understand. I see what's going on in my business, and I know what the levers are." So they're not jumping in because they're being marketed to by like, "Hey, grow your revenue by 10x in 10 months, da, 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 da." Like, "Okay, I guess that's what I want, so this is the program for me." No, hang on a second. Are you seeing your whole business objectively before you dive into that? How do you know that that's going to be the right answer for your business? Is that the problem really that you need to solve right now? And so once they have the understanding of the whole ecosystem, the revenue coming in, the people working for them, their vendors, their costs, and they can see it in a clear picture, not so much the numbers, but see it in a picture of what's coming down the road, that's when they're like, I own it. Yep, that's mine. I got it. I got it. Now I have fresh ideas. I know I'm focused on what I should be working on instead of throwing all of the spaghetti at the wall.
So would you say it's a big misconception to just focus on the cash flow?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. I mean, I've worked with people where they have like, oh, I'm doing another launch. I make $600,000 at this launch, and their launches cost them regularly $750,000. So why are you bothering with
Oh,
a
wow.
$600,000 launch if you know that you're going to be losing $150,000? Let's look at this from a different angle. Sure, you've got the cash coming in to cover the sins of the past, but when are you catching up? You know, we gotta put a stake in the ground and say, this is how we're going to catch up, and this is when we're going to do it.
I love that. I love how you look at it like holistically,
Oh, thanks.
so needed.
It is.
Of
It
course.
is.
So I ask this to everyone who comes on the show, and I'm curious to know your answer. For you, what does it mean to be a powerful leader?
Oh, powerful leader for me is humility, right? Like you're never
Mm,
there. You've never arrived. I'm really over the be better than the next guy, be better than the whatever. I am here for a community and lifting each other up and finding each other's strengths and helping each other with their weaknesses and being humble enough to come back and say, hey, I screwed up here. I need some help.
mm.
Or, hey, I've found myself in a pickle. I need some help. Um, and in that, in being able to be humble with your people, you are also showing them respect.
So, like, is there any like last piece of wisdom that you'd like to share with the audience today?
Don't be scared. I know it's like being naked in front of somebody. Uh,
Hmm.
when it comes time to opening up your books and taking a peek, when it's easier to just keep your head down. But that one act of bravery can be life changing.
Yeah, absolutely. And this applies to anything as well.
Yeah, that single act of bravery.
Yes, I feel like I go through it like almost every week, every day. I'm like, oh, am I really doing this? It's like always getting that uncomfortable to like learn and grow and become better. I love that.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, where can people go to connect with you further, learn more about your services and what you're up to today?
They can come over to Megan Dahle. It's MEGANDAHLE.com.
Hmm.
You can take a look at the different products that I have there or hop on a spot on my calendar and we can just chat about where you're at and see if I can push you in the right direction. Sometimes it's me, sometimes it's a business coach, sometimes it's you're on the right track and this is the easy button for you right now. Come talk to me in 6 months.
Yes, go do it. Reach out to Megan. She's awesome. Thank you again for coming on the show today.
My pleasure, Anna.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Powerful Female Leaders podcast. If you love this episode, make sure to spread the message, leave a review, and subscribe. I would forever be grateful for you. I also want to hear from you, and I want to know your feedback and your questions for future episodes. So don't be shy, say hi, and send me a message at Powerful Female Leaders Podcast on Instagram. Until then, I'll see you on the next episode.